lot of money to start this company, or how did you get the money to start this business?
No, man, we didn't have any money. So what I had to do is go out and get contracts and then go to the bank and show them I had contracts and try to get lines of credit. My first line of credit was for $15,000. I'll never forget it because my payrolls were like $2,500 a week because I had like 2 guys maybe, and we were doing backyard buildings. And so I always say about when it comes to dealing with the banks, always go to the banks when you're solvent and you have a lot of money. But in the case that you don't have a lot of money, that's what an entrepreneur does. He figures it out. So I took my contracts that I had won, and then I went to the bank and showed them that I had a contract, and they gave me a little loan against it to get me through the first couple.
What is the secret to being able to leverage capital, to leverage that good debt and turn that into wealth ultimately?
So if you look at the real estate, I own over 400 doors now. So you can underwrite a deal, understand the capital stack, whether you're raising somebody else's money to get the down payment and then you're going to take it to the long-term debt with the bank. You just have to be able to understand the math of real estate. What's the net operating income? What's the cap rate? What's my debt service going to be? Where are we at in the cycle on that property? So one thing I look at very hard right now when we're buying properties is like a lot of people don't want to buy properties right now because the interest rate is so high. And the only fear that I would have is that we get to the end of a 5 to 7 year arm and we're in a 1980 situation where you go from 7.5% or 8% to 16. But if you understand the math of real estate, it's very simple. In fact, I'd even say it's 3rd grade math. Then you understand the debt service and you understand where you are in the overall cycle, like the long-term, short-term debt cycle, and you're paying attention to where rates will go. You should have enough time to make decisions that will allow you to reduce that risk. You can't get away from it completely, but you should massively be able to reduce the risk and set your properties up the way they need to be.
They don't teach that in school, right?
Oh, I've heard they don't teach that in school. and why would they? Because the system is built for us to spit out employees and people that say yes and they pay taxes. They get married, they buy a 3-bedroom house and they die. And so, no, I don't think they're going to be teaching cap rates in school anytime soon.
Right. Ben Franklin said that most people die at 22, but they're buried when they're 70.
That's right. I heard that exact quote the other day. I think I heard 30 and 80, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, there's a bunch of dead men walking every day. They don't live free. They can't say what they want. They want to say things, they feel things. And I think that's why people resonate with us so much is that we're getting to speak on their behalf because we're free enough to talk. Hard times right now, but we're going to turn it around. America's going to turn it around. We're going to get the right guy in the White House.
Absolutely.
And then when that happens, we got to be able to clean things up a little bit.